So lately I've been doing like heaps of reflection on, I guess, like the state of our world, right? And here we are, I'm sitting back and reflecting, and like, here we are, we're looking where we're at a pivotal moment, right, in our society of which way we can actually go. And I know a lot of the direction that people are taking and that, and I'm team human, so you know, whatever decision you make, you're making the best decision for you, and that. So, and I look at it, and I'm like, looking at these things, and I'm like, you get this thing if you do this thing, but an actual fact is that we're always going to be constantly living in a state of fear, right? No, if we keep following, I'm trying to think of the right words to use here, so then is that otherwise, if you don't follow the right narrative, is that you're not going to get all these, privileges and right. But when in actual fact, if you keep following the narrative, you're going to keep getting more fear, and a new thing will come up, so they can push you, so you get pushed in another direction, and looking at how the whole operating system of the world, it's based off fear. Like our economy, our housing market, how people market to ourselves, the fear of missing out. Like can see this on just recently, say with the toilet paper. Like we had plenty of toilet paper, but people had that fear because the media propped the shit out of it, saying that people are overbuying it and stocking up. So then everyone's like, crap, we're gonna miss out on this thing. And then I live up here in Queensland, and we have a rental kind of crisis, and they keep promoting the shit out of that. So then it skyrockets all the prices up into unaffordable things to be able to, a general person be able to buy, and all this kind of stuff. And then when I like think of that as well, got a dog playing behind me, I'm like, why do we always constantly want to live in this state of fear? Like when you look at this cold that's going around, the CDC posted a study saying fear and stress was the second leading cause of death from it, or the second leading cause of comorbidity from it. So, and what fear and stress does to the body is fucking crazy. Like it causes cancers, there's autoimmune problems, all these other things, and we're constantly choosing to live in this fear, right? We'd be fearful of our neighbors and all this kind of stuff, and when the actual thing we need the most is our neighbors, right? At this point in time, because we need community. We're community-based animals, and that's how we thrive. And I did a podcast last night with a friend, and we spoke into this, and it's like what actually lowers the blow to trauma response to the body is community. But instead we're choosing this fear narrative and the quick fix narrative instead of coming together, and then we have the opportunity to build up this new world, like a new world kind of thing, because we can see these old power, so the wind's picking up a bit, so you can see that these old narratives not really playing out right, and they don't serve us anymore. And I don't know why we keep choosing to live in fear, because fear, like I sit back and reflect and look at how the world is, I'm like, my nervous system's shot from living in this constant state of fear, and I'm like, I'm anxious all the time, and I'm like, I've got everything going well for me. And it's also because every morning I get up and get bombarded by messages, by to be scared, you got this thing, and I'm like, in actual fact is I have no really shouldn't actually be scared of any of it, because really I live in a pretty good life. I got all the tools in the world and that to to deal with actual stress, but it's the constant messaging all the time of saying this is going to end, it's going to end, we got to be scared of this, got to do this, so then this thing goes away, and then the next thing comes up, and then you got to do that thing, so then that will go away. So there's this constant state of fear to make this and all that. So it's like, really sit back at this point in time, and if you do watch this full video, which I hope you do, is that why do we keep living in this state of fear? Like, stop buying into the narrative. Like, fear is the lowest form of control. There's 4 levels of it. So love's the highest and fear is the lowest. I can never remember the middle two, but fear's the easiest to put into and the easiest to snap out of. So take the time over the next couple of days after watching the video, a couple of weeks. It's like, do we really want to keep on living in this fear-driven narrative? Like, because that's how money is made in this world at the moment, and we do have the opportunity to change that. And yeah, it's going to be hard, as change is always hard, but it's going to be for the better. So yeah, ask yourself the question, are you really willing to live in a life full of fear all the time?